Hey, what's up guys? This is Sandesh. Welcome to this tutorial. Today we'll learn basics of Adobe Premiere Pro. In this we'll be learning basic video editing, cuts, adding videos, transitions, text, and so on. So let's begin. So Premiere Pro will open with the start screen. Here you can create a new project or open an existing project. Let's create a new project. Once inside, it will ask you for a name and location. So let's name it basic tutorial. For now, I will keep the default location. Also, you will see there are multiple settings below. For now, we'll keep them as it is. Here you will see multiple windows, which is a bit daunting, but don't worry, I will explain as we progress. Just make sure you are on editing workspace. You can also set it as default so that whenever you log in again, you will come back to this screen directly. You can find the project panel on the bottom left corner here. You can either click import media to start, or you can also use keyboard shortcuts such as Ctrl plus I on Windows or Command plus I if you are on Mac. So I will just double click here. From here, I will select the folder in which I have my videos, stills, and audio files. I have downloaded the video files from a website called pexels.com, which provides free stock footage and photos. You will find the link in the description below. For audio, I have used a track from YouTube library, which is also free to use. Once inside the folder, you can click switch to icon view, and you can also scrub through the videos to see the content of the videos. This is a really nice feature to see which exactly video you want to begin with. Premiere Pro actually does not import the files, it just creates the links. So now we open one of our videos and put it on the timeline. So let's say I want to put this video in the timeline. I will just drag it and drop it over here. Once I do it, you will notice a sequence is created. It takes the name of the video which I have put in the timeline. Also, the settings such as frame rate and size are taken from this video and it is applied to the whole sequence. You can change the sequence name from the list menu. Here you can see the icon is changed and it represents a sequence. To change the name, you can just click it here and say movie 1. And you can see here the name is changed. The program panel shows whatever you put on your timeline. Sequence is basically a combination of clips. You can also add other things like effects, text, etc. to the sequence. In the program monitor, you can scrub through the video using the playhead, or you can also just simply play the video. Now let's say you want to cut this clip and do not want to use the full video. You can use left arrow or right arrow to select frame by frame, or you can just drag on the exact point where you want to cut the video. Let's say I want to start my video from here and I want to cut the initial part. So to cut the clip, From the playhead to beginning, you can just press Q, or else if you want to cut it from the playhead to the end, you can press W. I will press undo. So another way of doing it is you can use the trim tool. So when you come to the end of the clip, you can see a trim tool in red, and you can just drag the clip to reduce, and that's it. A much better way of doing this is also through opening the clip in the source panel. So what you can do is, let's say I want to add this as my second clip. So I will, instead of dragging it on the timeline, I will first double click it so it opens in the source panel. Now you can see here also you can scrub the video using this playhead, or you can play the video. Also there is a nice feature called mark in and mark out, which helps us to select only a portion of the clip, and you can then just drag that portion to the timeline. So for example, let's say I want to mark the clip at this point and mark it out, let's say at 4 seconds. I can use my left or right arrow buttons to exactly select the frame. So I will just mark it out at 4 seconds. You can also use keyboard shortcuts I for mark in and O for mark out. Now this portion of the clip is selected. Now what I can do is I can drag it to the timeline, and only that portion will fall into the timeline. So other ways how you can bring this clip to the timeline. So instead of dragging, what I can also do is click the insert button or click the override button. So I will click the insert button and the clip comes in the timeline. Now one thing you will notice that if I drag the clip, it will automatically snap to the first clip. This is due to the snap in timeline button is on. So if I turn it off, I can move it over the clip. In this case, the clip will overwrite the clip below, but I don't want to do that. So I will do Ctrl Z and turn on the snap button. Now to bring the playhead at the end of the clip, I can simply select any clip and press the down arrow key. Now I will bring in the other clips. I will first double click and then open it in the source panel and select maybe from this point to 5 seconds, and then I will simply click insert. Similarly, I will select the fourth clip and I want to stop it at this point. So I will select mark out and then I will click the insert button. And finally, I will select the last clip. Now let's say if you realize that you wanted this clip after this clip, so and if you try to replace it by just dragging it, it will try to overwrite the other clip. So that's not good. And in this case, what you can do is you can select the clip that you want to replace it with, press Ctrl and then drag onto the other clip. If you are on Mac, press Command and then drag to the other clip, and it replaces the clip with the previous script. If you want to adjust brightness or saturation or colors, what you can do is you can select a particular clip and go to the effects, video effects, and here you can find either blur or sharpen, color correction, and you can click, double click the brightness, and here on the source panel you'll find effect controls. So here you can see we have the brightness parameter. You can adjust this brightness parameter to change the brightness. Now if you look carefully, here we have two tracks, V1 and A1. V1 represents the video track and A1 is the audio. So for some of our files, there is an audio embedded along with the video. Now you don't want this audio because we have a separate audio file for this sequence. So what I can do is I can just right click and unlink. So this will enable me to delete this audio. Similarly for these two files, so next we'll look at adding audio to this video. So for this we'll go to our project window and here we'll go to our audio file and let's say I select this file and I drag it over here. So now as you can see this file is much bigger than the video clips that we have. So if you want to see zoom in on this window, you can use this slider over here. You can also do is you can press backslash key to fit in all the sequence in the window. So now what I can do is I can just trim this file like this, or what I can do is simply select this last clip, press the down key arrow so that this slider is at the end of the clip, and now what I can do is I will select the audio file and press W to trim off the exceeding portion. On any window like either the program window or the source window or the sequence window, you can just select that specific window and press the tilde key. So here what I will do now is we can just expand the audio portion and you can see the left and the right audio. So here what you can do is you can just select this line to reduce the volume from here. Now if you have multiple clips, audio clips, you may need to do it one by one manually, or a better option is you just select the audio file, go to Windows and open audio track mixer. So here you can see that we have three audio files, but we are only using the one A1 audio file or audio track. So here you can adjust the three multiple audio tracks manually, or you can just adjust if you want to adjust all the audio tracks at once. You can just reduce the master track. So I will just reduce the master because we only have one audio over here. Okay. Now what I can do next is you can also mute or unmute your audio track from here, or if you want to um, toggle the track output, you can also, like video output, you can also do it from here. So like, say for example, you have multiple videos and you want to uh, while working on it, you only want to keep one video open at a time. Also you can do is, what you can do is you can also toggle the track lock. So for example, you want to lock this track and you don't want to make some edits by mistake, so you can just lock the track that you have worked upon. So we'll go to our project folder. Here I have downloaded a still image from pixels.com. So I want to keep it at the end of my image. So I'll double click it, and by default it has selected 5 seconds. So I just want to keep it for, let's say, 4 seconds. Okay, and then I will just drag it at the end of my last clip. We'll bring the slider to this. So now you can see here, the when I bring it to the sequence, the actual size is much bigger. This is because the size of the sequence is uh, same as the size of our videos, and this image size is much bigger than that, so that is why it is not fitting in. So in this case, what I can simply do is right click on the still which we have added and go to frame size, and it will automatically scale it to the frame size. Now what I want to do is I want to add an text to this um, still still image. So it's very easy. I just click the text tool over here, and if you press it for a bit long, you can see there are two types of text tools. One is type tool and one is a vertical type tool. The first one is by default the horizontal tool. So if you want to put in horizontal text, the second is for typing vertical text. So in this case, I want to type in horizontal text. So I will just type in, let's say, mm, beautiful beaches. So automatically you can see a graphic is added over here. So I can just drag it where I want, and it is a bit longer, so I will just trim it to the size of my still image. You can also select the different types of text. So to do that, you can just click on the text that you added and click effect controls, and you will see here you have different options. When you open the text, you will see the text type. You can also put a shadow. So the color for the shadow, I will choose, for example, blue. I can choose how long, how far the shadow needs to be. And this is to adjust the blur for the shadow. I can scale and also position it. And just position it from here. Okay, so let's first see the video transition. So transition is basically put between the two clips, so where the first clip ends and the second clip begins. So for example, I want to put a transition here. What I can do is uh, I can right click and apply default transitions, or Control plus D on Windows or Command plus D on Mac. And then you can also edit. By default it selects the cross dissolve transition. It's a very nice transition. You can also select whether you want to do it at center, so it applies on both. So for example, when I move this over, you will see it dissolves 50% and shows the next video. If you want to select some other transition, you can also do that. So for example, if I select this clip and go to the end of the clip, you can go to the effect from here and select video transitions. You can find all the different transitions over here. So the default one is highlighted by the blue blue square. So if you want to change the default, you can just select any other transition, right click and set select as a default transition. I will keep the default as cross dissolve for now. So in this case, let's say I want to apply this transition, dip it to black. So let's say how do so the screen basically goes black and then it opens on the next clip. Now we'll look at applying transition to the audio. So I will click backslash so that the sequence window zooms in. So from the project panel, I will select effects, and under effects, I will select audio transitions. So there are only three types of audio transitions. So I will select exponential fade in this case. What I also want to do is extend this audio a little bit over the graphic and the still image. Now we'll add a transition for the graphic. So for this, I will select video transition. I will select a slide so that it slides in. So I can edit it. It appears from left to right. What I want to do is from right to left. So I will select the transition, and here you can see the left side is highlighted as green, so the transition comes in from left. So I want the right side, so I will click this east to west arrow, and now the transition will appear from right to left. You can also do it from top to bottom. So for example, it will come like this, or from bottom to top. For now, I will keep it from right to left. And that's it. So the last step, what we'll do is we need to export this video. So for this, I will go to File, Export Media, and here you can, by default, it selects H.264 format, which is an MP4 format. So most of the times we use this for uploading videos to YouTube. You can select any other format if you wish to. I will keep it H.264 for now. Uh, Output name, you can change it over here. You can select a directory where you want to export. So I will select, let's say, tutorial 1, and the name is, let's say I will give tut 1, and the format is MP4, and I will click save. You can also queue multiple imports. In this case, we'll just export it. And I will just play the file.